What's up? Just for JP in the house. Okay, I want to continue on understanding you. As I've said in my other videos, the main problem that I think a lot of us are having is the lack of control of our emotions based on a thought that we created and has no equations to it. And I really think that's the real problem. Okay, you think about this. How is a leader created? How is someone who's a boss created? Basically, these people are, well, I wouldn't say people because it's just a thought, but a leader, the quote title of a leader is some imaginative figure, whatever, was able to convince other people that that person was able or is able to create a system in which all of them will be able to live, be happy, enjoy, expand their lives through knowledge or whatever, have a lot of fun, and pretty much that's it. So to do something like that, these people will have to have some kind of proof. Well, okay, well, if you could do that, well, how? And basically what it was that I'm really thinking of is just, they figured out that if you control people's emotions, then you're going to control them, because you can tell them, especially from being a kid, that, hey, do you feel it? Do you feel it? This is what I'm saying. Do you feel me? It's in your heart. Can you feel it? If you can feel it, then that means it's the truth. And they just playing people like that. And then people the same person to go to school and study about, the body and things like that, and study all this stuff and study exactly what's going on with them and exactly what the leaders or, whatever, not saying that real leaders, not just hypothetical, and are doing. And then they see it, but they don't want to recognize it because of that confirmation. But that feeling that they have, is a good feeling, so they want to keep it. Well, okay, well, I feel good, so I guess it's true, or I feel good, so I think it's true. But that's not how nature works. There are equations. If someone's going to come along like racism, I get, a few conversations about racism, and I told them that it's not real. It's just a figment of someone's imagination. And so, well, it is real, because they hung black people and they did this and they did that. And I'm saying, like, well, if they attack someone, that's not racism. That's a crime against humanity, and you have all the right in the world to protect yourself, even if it's to the point of that person not being able to control their body anymore. That's a natural right. That's instilled in you. Somebody walk up and throw a punch at you, you're just not going to run into it, unless you know that you got more force propelled through your jaw, from your body to your jaw, that's going to break that person's hand. Then that person will, then the force that's behind that person's hand, that might break your jaw. So people, people understand that that's just there in their true bodies and stuff. It's innate. So it's nothing nothing magical about it, or nothing. How can I say? Nothing mysterious about it. That's just natural. So when you have a person who is a racist and they are attacking you, then you have the right to protect yourself. And the law of man can't do that. Now, the only reason you got laws, like if you go to some countries, like here in Japan, the real law here in Japan is you can't really hit anyone, because even if you are a foreigner and you hit someone, it's according to how the police are going to act. But I believe that the law, you can sue people out here. Now, whether or not you're going to get paid like you would in the States, that's a different story. But someone to touch you, you can't take them to court and stuff like that. And I think that's in the United States too. But then it's going to depend on the judge or the police officer who's there, and they're going to determine it, and some people might just be the judge, jury, and the executioner right then and there, So in those cases, you do have to be careful, because some people, they're just going to let their emotions go and start creating this whatever. And sometimes you might even have some secret law saying, well, okay, well, you can go on and do this to this person. Or if you do this to that person, it's okay because it's collateral damage. Basically, you're just nothing. you know, you're just an object, and if they break that object, they're not going to get in trouble. You know, but the only way they will get in trouble is if if people stand up and say, no, this isn't right, and then disrupt that person's position. You know, that'll disrupt that person's position. But even a better way to do that is constantly talking about these people, because these people are under the same conditions of emotional control also, because they've been growing up in the same thing. And some people, they'll get so emotionally worked up that it'll just break their minds, or they'll just lose control of, you know, their logical thinking, and they'll just for some reason flip over to the imaginary side, and they'll quit, or you know, they get sick, or all kinds of stuff can happen. So you know, and those are weapons too, and a lot of people don't really realize that, but those are weapons too. And so you got these people that are in these positions, they mess up, and what they do, you know, they just retire, you know, which they should have retired a long time ago, but and let someone else, you know, fresh go in there. But you know, I guess they just don't know what to do when they finish, you know, or they haven't thought about it, you know, when they finish in positions. But you know, I tell everyone that racism is not real, because it can't be proven. There is nothing in science that says white people are better than white people. There's nothing. Everything that you study is going to say that black people are the normal people, and then those who are light-skinned or whatever, they are, I don't want to say abnormal, but they're not fully equipped to survive on this earth without being protected from natural elements. So of course we know, if you got white skin, light skin, or whatever, and the sun hits it, it's gonna burn you. You know, so that's what I'm saying. They don't have that natural protection, and people who don't have that natural protection, how can you say they're superior than those who have the natural protection? You know, it's just a figment of their imagination. So what you guys need to do is you need to understand that. Now, another thing too, like I said, you got a lot of these racist people out there, black, white, whatever, you know, and they hating and stuff like that. But you do have a right to defend yourself. You know, if you got these cops out there and they doing this to you, and you know they're going to hurt you, you know, and if you know you can get out of it, then you get out of it. But you know, if you get stuck in a situation and something happens, you end up losing, then you know, that's a sad situation. But that shouldn't happen, because you got these black leaders, and you got these other white leaders, and all these other people who know, or I think they know who the problem is, but you know, they'll try to go out and tell other people what a better way. But then, you know, you got those leaders who got a dream, you know, and they got this plan that they want, and they got all these other people on their team to help them based on, you know, because they're controlling their emotions by giving them things and saying, well, you know, you can dream, you know, if you help me, I'll give you, you know, $3 million every year, and you can live in the best countries and be with the best women, and just live and eat, drink wine, and eat the best raw meat or whatever for the rest of your life. And these people are thinking that stuff, and if they don't add their emotions to it, then they're gonna be like, okay, so what, you know, that's not gonna make me feel good. But you know, they're adding there, well, you know, I'm gonna have money, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be famous, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and blah 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 blah. And next thing you know, they're on a team. You know what I'm saying? They're on a team. But eventually they'll get tired, and eventually, you know, if the leaders don't like them, they'll get, you know, whatever, tricked and stuff, whatever. But what I'm saying to you guys out there is basically, and this is just, I'm just talking, you know, junk, because I want to finish this in before 15 minutes. But I'm not talking junk is real. What I'm saying is that you do have a, how can I say, you do have a way out of your predicament, okay, out of this so-called mental slavery that, you know, black leaders are saying, these black scholars are saying that we're under, and they are totally wrong. It's not mental. They can't mentally control you, not yet anyway. Okay, it's all due to your emotions with these dreams. I have a dream. Okay, well, manifest your dream, you know, and you can't. You know, you can't manifest a lot of those dreams. Okay, not if they don't have equations. Now you can probably force them together or get some type of a primer or something like that, but naturally, no, it's not going to work. You know, so your kids out there, your parents out there and stuff, you having these problems and stuff, why don't you just stop? And if you don't believe me, fine. You know, I'm not even asking you to believe me. I don't care. That's your problem, you know. My life has always been good. I've lived in the same house with my mom and my brothers until I was 19. You know, we went to the same states and, you know, the same neighborhoods. I had to deal with the same people, and I came out fine. I have no problems. You know, I didn't really experience all the racism my brothers did. You know, when I was kind of about an experience, and I don't know, my middle brother, I guess he experienced it, you know, after he got older. You know, I got older too and experienced it. But, you know, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm saying to me that, hey, something's wrong because this shouldn't happen. And you got to find out, well, what is the underlying base that you can snatch or destroy that's going to make all this stuff crumble. And it got to be the emotions. You know, I come down to it that it's the emotions. And, you know, I get responses, you know, people, and if you look at the responses, all of their responses are irrational. Straight dream, you know, Japanese women only love white men, huh? Well, then why isn't Japan all white? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you know, please, you know, pay attention. You know, look at yourself, you know, because you are in a great position, because now a lot of these people, there's these older people who are racist and stuff, they're getting old, they're getting tired, they have no lives, they might have money, but they're not really enjoying themselves because they got to keep pumping that image in their heads to make them feel good and stuff like that. That's why, I mean, it's kind of funny because you have these slave masters, right, who have these slaves, and then right before he dies, if he doesn't have any kids, what did he do? He gave all the land to the slaves. You know, he gave all the land. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what was this all about? But the whole thing was maybe he had to do that because if he didn't, then those other people who are emotionally controlled might come and hurt him. But there are no laws saying that he couldn't give the land to the slaves after he died. So when you really, you got to look at that and say, okay, why couldn't why is he allowed to give it to the slaves? You know, that means giving them property, giving them resources to build, to make money. They won't be slaves anymore. You know, they'll be on the same level as slave masters, especially if they become successful and purchase other slaves or other people to do their work and become CEOs and start big businesses and making $1 billion and stuff like that. You know, why would the government say, hey, no, you can't give it to your slave, you got to find another white person to take over the land? You know, and you think about that, and when I think about that stuff, I'm like, you know, what was the whole purpose of slavery anyway? You know, and, you know, in that sense, you know, I understand in the sense that, you know, basically all slavery was just a way to build wealth without having to pay people and stuff like that. And you got the you had the those people had already got the people thinking that they slaves anyway, and I don't know, it's just a bunch of junk that just happened. So anyway, I think that was the police right there, right in front of me. Anyway, so that's what I think is going on. Watch this. The car in the black is not paying attention on the right side. He's gonna go and get a ticket. Oh man, I got a few seconds. But that's what it is. Anyway, I'll continue this. But that's all that's going on. So you guys have to understand that even when you are, even though you are black and you do try to excel and get better, then you got these other people who are stuck in a emotional muck, and they saying you get better, and instead of them following your directions and your not your direction, but following the things that you're doing,